This is the Jurassic Park 3 Ceratosaurus, one of, if not the most rare Hammond Collection figures, and one I've always wanted, but never been able to find. I had pretty much given up on it. eBay prices for this horned carnivore usually range in the hundreds.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
But then, the return of my oldest enemy turned ally.
Thank you, kind sir.
At this point, I probably owe my firstborn child to Facebook Marketplace. It's afforded me so many expensive figures for dirt cheap. Mayhaps Raptor Jesus has deemed my reviewing cause worthy, and therefore blesses me with the hardest to find Hammond Collection figures. It really seems to happen like clockwork. I had no idea what I was going to review for this week, and then boom! Out of the blue, instant Hammond Collection figure. Same thing happened with the Brachiosaurus back in November. My Googly Gang, I can't disappoint Raptor Jesus. I'm GarrytheGremlin, but I can't deal with that now because today we're reviewing the Hammond Collection Jurassic Park 3 Ceratosaurus. I really can't believe this is happening, and I really can't fathom why this keeps happening for me, except that maybe it's because I spend too much time on that damn phone of mine. I keep finding outrageously good deals for these hard-to-find figures. The second I saw Kid Dragon and Dinosaur toys, I knew for certain that the out-of-focus and blurry red splotch in the background was the elusive Ceratosaurus, and boy am I happy that I'm right all of the time. This box of random-ass dinosaur and dragon toys was all worth it for the secret prize inside. However, before we get to the dessert, we gotta eat our vegetables first. We're gonna do a lightning round review of everything in the box, so fast that you can't even skip it in the video. Each toy is gonna get 5 seconds, no more, no less. Can we do it? Let's go! First up, this strangely novel accurate Dilophosaurus, unable to stand. Next, this nondescript orange T-Rex with this puke green paint on its back. The smallest, cutest Ankylosaurus you've ever seen. A Mattel Dimetrodon somehow more boring than the one I already repainted. A blue dragon. This is either a smaller version of the puke T-Rex from earlier, or I own a shrinking ray. The Strike and Roar Giganotosaurus, which is certainly the worst Mattel toy I've ever seen. A green dragon. This superposable Indoraptor, and yeah, it can't stand at all. A darling little Triceratops. A terrible looking knockoff of the already terrible Schleich Giganotosaurus. This Mattel Pteranodon, which I'm actually a big fan of, looks great, no complaints. This Styracosaurus with some horrid gold paint. How do you say this? Ice Machine? The most basic Brachiosaurus that I know everyone owned when they were 5. The infamous Papobaryonyx that I somehow forgot to take a video of. And last, this T-Rex, which, well, I'll just let the video speak for itself. Whew, that was a lot, wasn't it? Now, don't worry, even though most of these aren't for me and I gave them bad reviews, I understand that some kid out there should have the right to play with them, and that's why I'll be burying them 15 feet underground in an unmarked spot deep in the woods, so that some lucky kid can find them in 1,000 years. I'm just doing my part to give back to the community. Except for this T-Rex who's going in my fireplace. He can burn in hell. As for the actual Ceratosaurus, I'm really loving this little horny guy. Henry. I put Henry. I'm really loving this little Henry guy. I'm really loving this little horny guy. Because he's got a horn. I mean, it's more like a crest, but anyways, this figure is great. There's definitely a couple things that could be improved upon that we'll talk about, but the vibes here are really good. This figure came out all the way back in the second wave of this line, alongside the T-Rex, the Triceratops, the Gallimimus, and Alan Grant. Gosh, Alan Grant, that's a weird name for a dinosaur species. As you all certainly know by now, these waves being stocked at Target can be a very fickle thing. Hell, the most recent wave that came out in December didn't get stocked at my local Target till last week. Similarly, I never once saw anything from this wave in store, and the pre-orders had sold out fast. I don't know where my parents got me the T-Rex for Christmas because it wasn't from Target. Ceratosaurus suffered this similar fate and has now gone the way of the scalper. If you want yourself one of these bad boys, it is hundreds on the aftermarket. And is it worth it? Straight up, spoilers for the rest of the review? No. If you really want a posable Ceratosaurus toy, buy the Beast of the Mesozoic version whenever it comes out. Guaranteed, however much that one costs, it'll be less than the aftermarket prices for this one, and probably more bang for your buck. Not that I don't like this Jurassic Park Ceratosaurus design, because I really do. I just think this figure has a lot of room for improvement and is overall not special enough to warrant anything more than like $30. I do have a really big soft spot for this wacky little Ceratosaurus design. Paleo accuracy aside, let's just scooch it over there, I've always thought this color scheme combined with this hefty design makes for a really memorable and unique Jurassic Park carnivore. Ceratosaurus was always such a mystery to me back when I was a kid, back before Jurassic World was out. I mean, in the context of Jurassic Park 3, Ceratosaurus' only scene is him appearing from the bushes, finding some strangers, doing some questionable things with the fecal funny, and then walking back into the woods to find help from a trusted adult. He has a screen time of mere seconds, simply there as the punchline of a dumb poop joke. I don't know, the first and second Jurassic Parks both make a great deal of setting up dinosaurs beforehand, revealing them and giving them iconic scenes. The Ceratosaurus? His entire existence in the entire franchise is walking up, smelling poop, and saying, "Aight, I'm about to head out." I guess that's why I was so happy that I felt like it got a big role in Jurassic World Evolution. Oh yeah, baby, we're bringing it there. When Jurassic World Evolution came out back in June of 2018, you better believe I instantly was playing it all day, every day. I still regularly play the second one, as I'm yet to buy the third, and I really love the original game as well. The first carnivore you ever unlock, and one of the first dinosaurs in the entire game, is the Ceratosaurus. The lackluster appearance in Jurassic Park 3 isn't really what makes this design special to me, it's its appearance in Jurassic World Evolution as one of the star carnivores. I had so much fun playing that game back in the day, and Ceratosaurus was a fundamental part of it. That's why this figure sort of hits the spot for me design-wise, and I also feel like Mattel was killing it as well. I'm really happy to see the loving accuracy they took when capturing the Jurassic Park 3 Ceratosaurus design. I really love how they didn't skimp at all on these dark brown stripes, and how there's so many of them that run the full length down the body and tail. There's also this really great fade on the red that transitions from the face into the body. I've always thought this was a really bold and interesting design choice. It makes him look a bit like his head is covered in blood from digging in some giant corpse, or like he's the final boss of rosacea. Poor guy. Either way, it looks cool, and I also really appreciate these painted hand claws. What I don't like about this figure's design, I feel is painfully obvious. These big old teeth look really darn goofy. He's got straight up banana teeth. I've seen worse before, but not by much. Also, on these eyesore teeth, you can spot something else. Or more, the lack of something else. As is to be expected with a second-hand Facebook Marketplace find, there's a lot of wear and tear on this figure. The most offending ugly spots are of course right on the moneymaker. These cavities in his teeth, and then this damage on his horn. It really is so much more of a horn than a crest on the Jurassic Park design, but that's a whole nother conversation. Beyond the damage, there's some very loose joints, but more on that later as well. Still, the paint here really kills it, it's so great. I feel like there's so much more happening here. On the recent Sinoceratops, Mattel couldn't be bothered to paint the underbelly hardly at all, but here, we get stripes going the full way, it's great. The only thing that of course is a little disappointing is the sculpted dew claw that has been left completely unpainted. This is unfortunately so common that I'm not even surprised at all. In addition to the paint, the sculpt work is super fantastic. It might be one of the better aspects of this figure. This bumpy and scraggly skin texture is really unique and different. I feel like my camera here is not doing justice to the subtle texturing of the skin all over, but trust me, it's great. I really love these wrinkles on the stomach that provide a clear line between the underbelly and the side of the figure, as well as these great big scales on the surface of the face. Proportionally, I think he looks really weird. Far too large of a head and way too short of a tail with some massive meaty oven mitts for hands. But honestly, looking at it, this is pretty much spot on accurate for the movie Ceratosaurus. In that way, I guess it's acceptable, but very begrudgingly. I suppose I'm more familiar with the evolution Ceratosaurus, which is super similar looking, but ever so tweaked as to be more proportionally accurate to a real Ceratosaurus, with a much skinnier profile and the like. The evolution one is by no means proportionally accurate, but it at least errs a little bit more on the scientific side. Realistically, when designing this figure, film accuracy makes so much more sense here, even if I would have preferred more of a game-accurate look. We do have confirmation that we're getting cartoon designs in the Hammond Collection for this year with a Scorpius Rex. Or is it just Scorpius? Anyways, how about some confirmation of some evolution designs, Mattel? My dream is for the Jurassic World Evolution Utahraptor, Albertosaurus, or Iguanodon to get figures. Any of those. Take your pick, Mattel. Speaking of evolution, it's such a sadness that the Ceratosaurus is so hard to get, because I'd love to repaint it into some of the skins from that game. I really adore this coastal variant as well as this rainforest one from the original game, and I really wish I could have a whole pack of them with different colors. But given how hard this figure is to track down, that would be one pricey repaint video. Now, one thing I really enjoy about this figure is its size. From the tip of the tail to the tip of his horn, he's right over 12 inches long. And since my ruler doesn't go past 12, I can't be sure what number that would be called. Although I can tell you that he's right at 5 inches tall to the top of his back. I feel like this is an unfortunately underused size class for this line when there's so many more species they could put here. For years now, I've been saying an Indoraptor would be the perfect fit for this size class, but also a novel Dilophosaurus or an evolution Utahraptor would be amazing. Anyways, here's the Hammond Collection Ceratosaurus with the usual size comparisons, Action Master Grimlock, the GarrytheGremlin Council of Raptors, and some 1/18th scale human buddies. Next up, we've got the Hammond Collection Dryosaurus, Baryonyx and Parasaurolophus, the Carnotaurus, and last, fellow JP3 cast member, the Spinosaurus. The Ceratosaurus looks really great lined up with the rest of the Jurassic Park 3 Hammond Collection figures I have, but personally, I think he looks way cooler hanging with the rest of his Morrison formation gang. I really adore this. It's so cool to be slowly putting together a complete Morrison formation squad. I've got the Dipster, Bracky, all these guys you see here. Next, I really hope Mattel gets on making a Camarasaurus. It's a really unique species of sauropod that I'd love somewhere in this line. Overall, I'm very happy with the size of this fella. It's great to see a more modest carnivore, and frankly, it's great to not have to completely rearrange my shelves to fit in another massive dinosaur action figure. See, sometimes personality is better than size. One last major thing is, of course, the articulation. You hear the music, you know the deal, posing time. Starting with the jaws, you've got the really wonderful super wide articulating mouth, achieved by these double hinges, one on the top and one on the bottom. This is one of my favorite things Mattel figured out back in the Amber Collection line, and it works especially well here because it's not ratcheted. Next up, there's a ball joint at the back of the head with a good range of motion, and then a separate one at the base of the neck, and combined, there's a great range of motion up, great down, and a sort of weak bend side to side. It honestly looks better on camera, but I mean, trust me, it's not that good. The shoulders have a great range outward and full rotation all the way around. The elbows bend and swivel fine, but unfortunately, this is long before this line started prioritizing wrist joints on a figure this size, so you've got nothing there. The thighs can rock out a great amount, as well as rotate the full way around. The knees bend a good deal, could be more, but swivel all the way around. Now, the lower legs have some great joints, but some very loose ones as well. What can you do? This copy was played with by a kid for years. Means he can hardly stand, but I can't hold it against him. Ankles bend with a fantastic range, swivel, and same for the toes. One last thing, this tail is on a super loose ball joint. Again, marketplace, what can you do? And then finally, the tail has a bendy wire running through a good length of it, maybe about half. This is one of those rare cases where I really can't hold any of this against Mattel. I have my suspicions, mainly on that tail, but who knows? This figure could have had perfect tolerances out of the box. None of this is necessarily Mattel's fault. We're not gonna call these joints worn out, we're gonna call them well loved. I'm glad some kid got to play with this for years before it became part of my collection. And I'm also just a big fan of whatever's wrong with this guy. There may be plenty of proportional problems, so many areas where more recent figures blow him out of the water, and even on top of all that, all the ways my specific copy has been used and abused. But still, I love whatever has gone wrong here. In a way, he's managed a very similar thing to the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus I got in November. Where Brachy reminded me of the beauty of dinosaurs that I had lost sight of at that moment, Michael Ceratosaurus here reminds me of something else that I love. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park had such a specific, cool, dangerous vibe before the World movies came along, pre-2015. It felt genuinely more primal, treacherous, and mysterious, and I miss it. This specific Jurassic Park vibe used to be all ferns and caution tape and steel bars and such, and well, now the World trilogy has made it all glossy and clean and sanitized. This is not me saying new is bad, and I'm not trying to be the old man yelling at the cloud, but this Ceratosaurus does bring me back to a time that I don't remember all that well anymore, and a time I reflect on kindly. I love this little Ceratosaurus, and though he may have realistically only earned a spot in Clever Girl tier, right now I feel like putting him in Scutosaurus tier. I love him that much. We're gonna be reasonable, however, and put him in Life Finds a Way tier, because I feel he's a step better than the Concavinator, but definitely not better than the Spinosaurus. I am beyond lucky, however, to have gotten this figure for a reasonable price, and I hope you Googly Gang enjoyed this video. If you got this far, thank you so much for watching. Now, I do see that a vast majority of you, like a ridiculous 75% of you, are unsubscribed. What's the deal with that? If you watch my content regularly and aren't subscribed, go ahead and do so. It's free for you, and it helps me out big time. While we're talking about business, let me fill you in on a little secret. I got a channel membership where people get to watch these videos early. If you see a top comment below and it says something like 5 days before this video came out, yeah, it's because members get to watch these pretty early. I'm so thankful for my members who support me on a financial level since they help make these videos possible. Thank you guys so much. If you want to see these videos early and get your name in the credits of the video, check out becoming a channel member. Other than that, that's all for this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. GarrytheGremlin out.